welcome to a No Splinters special. It's our Ashes preview. I am Harry Lister, as always. It's lovely to be back. Hopefully you've enjoyed your weekend. This should be a fine Monday morning. Obviously it's not being recorded then, but hopefully everyone's had a good weekend and is ready for what is the biggest series in cricket, without doubt, especially as an Englishman, away to Australia. I've got Harvey LUFC Radcliffe. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, all right.
You all right? Good. And I've got Matt Gregson, UMCC former captain, Bucks championship winner, former Didsbury cricket captain, and now what are you, Lambs? What are you, the Lambs?
The Lambeth Lambs, mate. Lambeth Lambs.
Now you just bully Harvey Prices on Clapham Common or wherever it is.
And I absolutely love it, mate.
Yeah, you do.
I absolutely love it. Big fish, small pond.
Big fish, small pond. Exactly that. So yeah,
How come a build up, killing all Supremo back to back, Division 5, Division 4, T20 captain.
Wow. Well, I'm surprised you're not in contention for the Ashes squad with that.
How have I not got this build up?
I'll never forget. I came to watch Harv play cricket once. It was on a Wednesday night evening league, and someone stuck him into bat. He opened the batting, and this was in the days of where you were really shit.
Well, I'd only just come back from America, mate. I hadn't seen a ball.
Yeah, I know, we could tell. So he's opening the batting, right? He's opening, and I rock up, and this lad's opening the bowling. Probably about 85-year-old man. Open it up to him, and Harv straight. Was it first or second ball? I can't remember, mate.
He wasn't that old. It was Division 1 at Harrogate Evening League. He was half decent.
Mate, he's played and missed at this ball.
I ain't even netted. I hadn't played cricket until I was 14.
Oh, I know, we could tell. Anyway, you're a much better player these days.
I didn't back down for a challenge, mate. I didn't back down for a challenge, and a few years of hard work, and I'm back to my former glories. So anyway, that's
moving on.
Moving on.
Right, moving on, Arv. So, Gregors, Ashes, obviously, for me, it's the greatest. Obviously, we just had the T20 World Cup, and England won the ODI World Cup in 2019. But as a cricket fan, a hardcore cricket fan, what does it mean to you, I guess? And sort of what is the Ashes? Is it the most important thing in cricket, or do we just overestimate sort of a series between two great nations, or one great nation and a bunch of convicts?
I think that Test cricket is the pinnacle. I think that it's really good at the moment that you've got things like the 100 and all the 2020 competitions to get people into cricket. But I don't think there's anything like a good test match. I do think that the Ashes is probably the most important thing because just of the history behind it all. And it's nice to see over the last, 20 years or so that England have actually started to pose a bit more of a challenge to Australia.
Especially at home, but not so much away.
Yeah, that being said, this year, both sides going into it with pretty awful preparation. So if that's a level for England, we will find out. But I am really looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Harv, obviously, I'd imagine you're a bit like me.
Hello.
Just. Yeah, we know you're there. Why do you keep saying hello?
I don't know. Keep saying it.
Adele, he thinks he's Adele, and he's go easy on me or whatever it is. 2000
boy, more
like. Especially with your sales at the moment. 2005 for me, that was as a cricket fan. I remember being 10 years old, whatever it was, and it was such a special series, wasn't it? Just talking about the Ashes in depth. We can all the series since then. I think we'll all agree 2010-11 was a fantastic spectacle. Obviously in Australia, what a victory! Just sort of the Boxing Day Test match, I'm sure we all remember, and the Brisbane 530 odd for one or whatever. But 2005, I imagine that's what made you sort of love cricket. People that liked the sport got into it. You remember the scenes of Trafalgar Square and Old Trafford, the people queuing to get into the ground, those kind of things. Did that get you into the game, or was 2005 sort of not on your radar?
My dad was captain of Beckwithshire third, so I had no real choice, mate. I followed him around. Obviously, played at a much higher standard than I ever did, but cricket was always in our family. Played for Hampshire Twos when he was young, and I don't know why I didn't get the cricket genes, really. I don't know what happened, but it's always been in my family. But no, I remember knocking about with a young Harold at Beckwithshire when your old man was captain of the Ones, and it's always been a big part of our lives, hasn't it? So we've not really had to have some introduction, but I would say more of a mainstream way of getting into it would have been the 2005 Ashes, because everyone was talking about cricket, which was always on the periphery, and all of a sudden it was on the front pages. And then obviously the scenes that followed, Freddie, swanning around number 10, feet up on the desk, and all the legendary stories afterwards really sort of gave a generation of fans the mystique of cricket, the last great athlete that would have a drink. They were the the common man's players really, and long may it continue.
It was special, wasn't it? Because obviously you look at the side that they had in terms of Ward, McGrath, Lee, Ponting, Hayden, Langer, bloody hell, Martin, Clark. The list, Gilchrist. The list is obscene. Jason Gillespie. It was a crazy series. I remember watching it. I can remember KP sort of getting 150, and I remember hit Flint off hitting Shane Warne at the ground, and obviously even McGrath getting his five for it. It was sort of the first time, even though, as you say, I grew up in a cricket family. It really got people into the game, a bit like the 2003 World Cup did with Johnny Wilkinson and the likes of that. And obviously since then, the Ashes, we haven't. Well, obviously we went 2010-11. I remember that I was a bit older, obviously, sort of 15ish, and staying up late to watch it. I mean, Boxing Day Test match, the scenes, I think we bottomed out for about 80 and 90, didn't we?
Unbelievable.
You're a bit older, and obviously you went out to us, didn't you, Matt, for a period of time?
Yeah, I've been out there, and I play cricket out there, and have since found out how much Australians hate Englishmen because every single ball got bowled at my head. Which, I mean, now in England,
which is a nightmare because you can't play the short ball.
Grow up. But yeah, I think that also going back to the 2005 Ashes, I think the actual spectacle as well, like the quality of the series made such a big thing, and like the drama of it as well, like McGrath going over on the ball on the morning of a Test match. There was so many different things that just...
The Old Trafford where it was a draw.
You could not
Gary
write
Pratt.
it. Yeah.
The
Pratt,
cut eye, the last ball at Edgbaston with the glove off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those. I mean, we could talk about the Ben Stokes innings at the World Cup and stuff, but you couldn't write that series.
Headingley, really.
There's been some special memories.
And that summer as well, like if you watch it back, like I just remember seeing sun the whole time as well, which in England is.
Do you remember the warm up?
I mean,
we are going a bit off topic, and I'll get back to you. Remember, it was the ODI series where I think we drew with them in the final. It was like a tri series of Bangladesh or something, and even that Kevin Peterson came into the fold. He played at Bristol or something. Yeah, it was a special time. And obviously since then there's been some great Ashes memories. Stuart Broad's at 8 for 15, but away from home we've been getting battered, and obviously this is where the game is going. So let's dive into it. Right, well, at the start, right, Harv. I mean,
hello.
I know you don't need to keep saying hello, mate. We know you're there. Getting stuck into it at the start, the crux of the matter, right? Look, I don't know if you made too much attention, but obviously England have had 2 warm-up games against the Lions because of all the COVID malarkey. Rained off, mate.
Like 30 overs or something.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing in it. And you look at the likes of Australia having not played a Test match since early January. The issues with Tim Payne, obviously giving up the captaincy, now he's out of the fold. Pat Cummins being given the go. What do you reckon then? Obviously, sort of the preparations for the sides have been, terrible really for both teams. Do you think that the preparations are sort of who is better advantaged, Harv? Like which team do you reckon's coming into it going, actually, we're in a better position? Because obviously a lot of the Aussie lads have been playing sort of Shield cricket. But what do you think? Where do you think sort of the landscape lies at the moment?
I don't know. It's a difficult one, given obviously the bubble and all that to take into account. I think Tim Payne wasn't a good distraction from Australia either, but actually I think in the long run they'll benefit because it looks like Alex Carey's coming in to take the gloves, and he's a proper player.
Only averages about 20 in the Shield though.
Mate, Alex Carey's not a proper player. I don't want to dive into it. Alex Carey is such a budget cricket. Sorry, Archie Turner. I mean, when Carey is playing the one-day stuff, he's nowhere near as good as Goodman.
They're getting that Josh English as well.
Josh English should have played. Josh English should have played, mate. He's a Yorkshireman, he's a former Air War cricketer. He was a couple of years. He's a year above me, and sort of he was playing for the Yorkshire Age Group setup. I would have liked to see him play bias, but anyway, he's a form cricketer. I mean, I know he hasn't played since September, but mate, Alex Carey,
3 Shield hundreds last year, I think.
Yeah, he's
obviously a decent player.
Ponting wanted him, Warne wanted him, Shane Watson wanted him, but obviously Alex Carey is the next cab off the rank in the sense he's been around that sort of that one-day setup. I thought Matthew Wade might get a go, just because of the way that he went in the T20, won them the World Cup in essence, because obviously the semi-final they were at.
I think they've seen our experiment with Josh Butler and probably don't want that repeated.
Well, he's gone all right, Wade, but we're getting off topic. I'll come on
anyway,
to that in a bit. So Pat Cummins, so what do you reckon? England, Australia, who's better prepared? Just an answer, please.
I think Australia are better prepared purely because they've been playing in home conditions in the Shield for a bit longer. Obviously, some players haven't been playing in the Shield, but I think you can't account for time in the middle in your own conditions. And given we've had what 1 day of play in 2 weeks, I don't think that helps anyone really.
I would say that England would probably not want to go into the series any differently because there's.
What do you mean?
Because there's been such limited play, because they've been playing all of the 1 day stuff as well. They've not all of the Australian players that have been playing Shield cricket.
Do you think that makes a difference winning the T20?
No, no. I don't think that makes a difference at all. I think that coming in, obviously with the pain thing that's happening, obviously England cricket's got its own issues at the moment. But I think that going away from home and just having a series where there's a little bit of carnage surrounding it is probably a good thing for England. Whereas if they'd had a full summer, also it's starting later. They've had the storms as well.
Though, you know, I don't. Like, are the Aussie lads? I genuinely don't know this question. I don't know if you know, but the Aussie lads, obviously, I think the England people have had to quarantine in the Gold Coast, and I think they're in this bubbly hotel. I saw Johnny Bairstow.
They're in a family bubble, yeah.
I would imagine that all of the Aussies would be
in a similar
have to do the same because they're really
they're
tough
back,
out there,
aren't they? They're going
really
back
tough.
into sort of lockdown.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
The Perth test is, I've been reading it today, and the Perth test is in a bit of danger. Yeah, the 5th test because
they'll just sort something out.
Basically, how it's going to work is the England were only going to come if the families could come, which I think is actually fair enough because a lot of these have young families, and it's a long time abroad. And traditionally, England would go on tour, and the wives and kids would come out, and the grandma, granddads, all that. So it's it's a long time away from home, and it's a really big experience. But they've negotiated to where the families are in the bubble as well, which I think is good because mental health's obviously a massive part of sport, and these you got to forget these cricketers are in a bubble pretty much 11 months of the year at the minute. So for them to have some compromise and have families there, I think good. But what they're saying is, each Australian state has its own sort of mini dictator, and it seems to be a bit of one-upmanship. One's trying to be stricter than the other. So what they're saying is, Perth. Basically, Perth are saying that you can't come in with your family bubbles because they've been in X amount and they have quarantine and all the rest of this nonsense. Even though they're going to be in a bubble the whole time, it makes zero sense. But anyway, that's for a political podcast. But no, so personally, I think Australia will be a bit more experienced in terms of playing conditions. I think where we lack is in the bowling, really. I think the batting's a mixed bag. I don't think any team, apart from Steve Smith, really, and Joe Root, have got any great guns or anyone that's jumping out at the screen saying this lad's going to score X amount of runs. I don't know if you two agree. But I've just been on the pick your own team selector. So I've picked my first 11 for the first game. So I've gone Hamid, Burns. I've gone Milan at 3, Joe Root at 4. Bairstow 5, Stokes 6, Butler 7, Ollie Robinson 8, Jack Leach 9, Anderson 10, and Mark Wood 11.
Right.
I'm slightly different to that.
So
that's who I would roll out in the first test. I think you got to stick with Hamid and Burns, even if they're absolutely useless.
One sec off. We'll dive into it. We'll dive into it in chronological order because there's one thing there you've just said absolute nonsense. But anyway, right. So firstly, obviously you've got Ben Stokes in your side. I just want to talk upon England first, right? We'll go. Ben Stokes is there, but we'll touch upon him next. England's top order. You've gone with a top order of who did you say? The top 3, please.
Hamid, Burns, and Milan.
Right. I mean, obviously, me and Greggs have had a chat about this before in the group chats and stuff. But for me, I disagree. I think they will go with that. I think obviously that looked like the system in the sort of warm up games. In terms of Hamid and Burns opening, I would go personally Zach Crawley, Rory Burns, and I would go David Milan at 3. Just because I think Zach Crawley, if he's going to go well, right, and obviously he did go well the summer before last against Pakistan, and he did all right in South Africa. This year he looked like a rabbit in headlights, but he is made. You can see it. He's a back foot cricketer. I think if he's going to get runs, it's going to be in this series. It's going to be in Australia, and I think you've got to give him the opportunity, having taken him on tour. Hamid he's only averaging sort of similar amount of averages. I have written them down. He did well in India, which is totally alien conditions to Australia. I mean, it's like he's going to be facing.
What I'm saying is a good story.
Well, yeah, but who knows, mate? Because like, we're talking about India in 2016. I don't think it's relevant to sort of this series. He isn't a back foot player. He's not the same kind of cricketer as Zach Crawley. I think Zach Crawley can take the attack away from Australia, which is how I see the game going. And I think Davin Milan is a nailed on in the side. Although whether he's at number 3 or not remains to be seen. Matt,
I have gone slightly differently, and I've gone Burns, and I would open with Milan because I think he's quality against pace. And then my slightly out the box call would be putting Ben Stokes at 3. Simply because over the last 2-3 years, he has been our second best batsman.
Yeah,
after Root.
There's when he played, he was our best batsman. He was our best batsman. Do you know what I mean? When
Root
had
this year,
yeah, exactly.
He has been the person that we've called upon.
Yeah, he was the best player.
Do you not think putting him in too early risks us then collapsing? Or are we going to collapse anyway either way?
I would say you put your
I
would say you put your best batsman where they can face the most amount of balls. Obviously, he's not. I wouldn't open with him, but I just think that if you bat him 3, you get a few emergency overs because over the last couple of years, let's be completely honest, he's not been used as a bowler. We're saying that he's a middle order player and he's an all-rounder, but the amount of overs that he's bowled, I don't have the stats with me, but I do not imagine that he's anywhere
think he will be used
near.
quite a lot.
I don't agree. No, I don't think he will be used at all, mate, because one, he's been injured, right? Obviously, he's had the thing with his finger and stuff. It's really difficult not to jump around here, but we're talking about... So Burns is nailed on, right? He's an absolute banker.
Burns 100%.
For me, I don't see them going down that route, and
nor do I, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see...
It's what I would do, but
so
I
ignoring
don't see that happen.
Ignoring that, who are you picking? Because I don't think they will go down that route, and I can see your logic, but you've got Milan in there, whether he's batting
say
1 or 3, 2 or 3.
The most likely thing would be that they'll go with Hamid.
Because he's the man who's got control of the shirt.
Yeah, and look at the warm-up games with limited
opened,
preparation. He's opened him and Burns in the one game, whatever it was, 80-odd for none, and then...
This series, right? I think we all know. Look at our strengths of our side. Say Pope, say Stokes at 5. Milan is a run scorer. Last time in Aussie averaged 40 odd, right? Root is our best batsman. Stokes our next best batsman. Pope, you'd argue, is due to get runs, and Butler obviously they think is the finisher at the end. We are middle order heavy, and I think we just want to see off the new ball. So I think they'll look at Hamid and go, I don't really care if you get 25 or 70, 80, 100 balls. If you get us through to lunch,
you take the innings, first innings long. Really, I don't agree with just being really boring. But we've got to you've got to just set your stall out and say, well, we've got enough power in the back to hit the tired bowlers. And we're also forgetting that Ollie Robinson, he can bat. We do bat a long way. Yeah, but he can.
Talking about Ollie Robinson, I hope that. Sorry to jump in there, Hav.
No.
I hope that they don't do the thing that I think they might do and go, "Oh, Dom Best can bat."
No
and pick him.
No chance.
Jack Leach's got to play.
You need someone with ultimate control if you're going to have a spinner out there. Like Nathan Lyon for them cannot hold the thing.
I think this could be Jack Leach.
You need Leach to be out there. You need him to be bowling, and he's going to bowl a lot of overs as well.
I'm going to throw it out there. Jack Leach doesn't play in Brisbane.
I'd be surprised.
There's no chance.
I really like Jack Leach as a.
No, mate, he's averaging, right? He's averaging. Look at this. This is an interesting stat. Nathan Lyon, home and away, averages 33 with the ball. At home, he's averaging 33 as well, and against England, he averages 30.5. That's home and away against England itself. Jack Leach is averaging with the ball 26 against Australia. And I think it's 27 or 8 in Test cricket. So obviously he's done well in the subcontinent and stuff. But he's a very good spinner.
I rate him.
And obviously he's Headingley heroics. But I don't think there's a cat and hell's chance he plays in the first Test, right? Because
I do.
No, I don't. I don't think Ben Stokes is going to be fit enough to bowl. I don't think they'll risk him. He hasn't had outdoor practice overs. There is no way, in my opinion, they go into that game with a fourth seamer of Ben Stokes. I don't see that happening.
Why take him then?
Because
we're going to be 1-0 down.
Because he's playing as a batsman.
But he's bat him at 3.
I don't disagree, but he is a batsman. You take Ben Stokes can't bowl another over in his Test career. He bats for 5 at England for the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if he can't bowl. If he can't bowl, he can't bowl.
Could do him a favour. Could actually prolong his career if he doesn't bowl.
It doesn't. It's by the by. But there's been it's been very wet in Australia, right? It's been very wet. So the pitches aren't going to be very dry at the moment. Everyone's saying, obviously, what's it called? La Nina or something is whatever the weather condition they've got at the moment. I don't see how
What's
England...
that mean as?
It's something like a wet weather condition. I have no idea. Oh, Nina.
Also,
I don't think they'll play Leach.
Root
Root
over the last couple of years has played as the sole spinner more
Chucker.
often than not, which
Ben
and they'll argue that
Milan
Milan can throw out some leggies as well.
Yeah,
But the
I just think
issue
we're
is
missing the
that
trick not bringing Livingston to be honest, because he'd answer all the prayers really.
I'm his biggest fan. Biggest fan.
Family friend.
Furniture.
I want to jump onto Livingston thing because I want to go into the middle order and stuff. But just on, we've sort of jumping around. But the spinner, right? Spinner with the weather. I think Root can hold an end in that first game. I don't see Ben Stokes bowling many overs, and I think they need a bit of pace. They'll play Mark Wood. They'll want a number 8 who can bat. I think we'll agree.
Chris Wokes.
They'll play Chris Wokes. Ollie Robinson isn't good enough, mate.
Shy away from home Wokes.
It's nonsense because he's looking at stats. He's looking at stats history. Right. Chris Wokes is England's best cricketer of the last few years in terms of like what he can give England with a bat, with a ball. You look at the World Cup, right? He opened the bowling brilliantly. He played a game against, I think it was Pakistan. No, it wasn't Pakistan. It was a side. Anyway, he batted 3. It was Afghanistan. I can't remember. He batted 3 for England.
He's quick enough
maybe West Indies.
To be controlled in Australia.
Why? Glenn McGrath, mate, it's nonsense. It's absolute bullshit. That argument is utter bollocks because Glenn McGrath is 20 in Australia, and for the last 8, 9, 10 years, he was averaging around the similar mark, and he was bowling slower than Chris Wokes. You bowl with accuracy and proper line length.
Mate, you've got to remember these are all dropping pitches as well. We haven't talked about that. There's only one test where there's not a dropping pitch, which has markedly made Australia a terrible place to play
fast
cricket.
Enough. It's not all about pace. Like it just isn't. Look at Jimmy Anderson. Jimmy Anderson, 2010-11, averaged 25 with the ball, mate. It isn't.
We're not playing at we're not playing on these whacker fast decks. These are dropping pitches.
So why do you need pace?
Well, it's because these
dead decks.
They're dead.
But who? All right. So Chris Wokes doesn't play. Who are you playing?
Ollie Robinson.
Ollie Robinson's slower than Chris Wokes by a mile.
Nah, Robinson.
I'd play them both, by the way.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd play them both.
I
wouldn't pick Broad.
For me,
I'd not pick Broad.
Wood and Anderson are playing.
Broad can come and carry the drink.
Wood and Anderson are 10 and Jack. 8 and 9 is Wokes and Robinson. I don't see how Jack Leach gets a game, especially in the first Test match.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a traditionalist, but I always think you've got to pick a spinner.
When did England last play with a spinner?
It's a real shame that Moeen Ali's retired.
England went all summer without playing a spinner. England went all summer without playing a spinner, mate. Exactly. Moeen Ali get whacked in Australia, mate.
Yeah, Moeen Ali's
loads,
Moeen Ali bowls very nice in the love zone.
Sometimes. So obviously, what do you reckon then? Obviously, I've gone with 4 seamers. I don't think Ben Stokes is going to bowl in that first Test match. I don't see how he can.
If I were to start, I would go Burns, Milan, Stokes, Root. I'd gone Bairstow at 5, again, because he hates Australia. Pope 6, Butler 7, Wokes, Robinson, Leach, Anderson.
Right, can we just do the middle order? Because, Harv, you had Ben Stokes batting 6 and Johnny Bairstow batting 5. Can someone please put my eyes off this floor and put them back into my face, please? Why on earth have you got Ben Stokes at 6, who's our best batsman or second best batsman, and Johnny Bairstow, young Johnny Bairstow, who averages 30 with the bat and 20-odd against Australia? Like, where have you got that from? He can't get a run in red ball cricket. I cannot understand why Johnny Bairstow's on this tour.
Johnny Bairstow,
I don't know what he's doing to Chris Silverwood, but obviously his arsehole's getting very well licked. It doesn't make any sense. Johnny Bairstow is a brilliant... I'm his biggest advocate in white ball cricket, aren't I? I think he's England's best player. Josh Butler now probably is, but I think as a batsman he's absolutely wonderful. I don't understand what secrets he's got to keep playing red ball cricket. Mate, 80 Test matches.
I love Johnny Bairstow. I think when he's on fire, he's the best. I mean, I'm talking about red ball cricket, right? Johnny Bairstow. We need a bit of character in that middle order, and I think that with Stokes been injured, the theory behind it is
he's not injured. He's playing. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is he's not match fit, right? Okay, he's going to take a few games to get back to Ben Stokes of old. Johnny Bairstow has played more cricket than Ben Stokes this season, right?
When was his last red ball game?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter anymore. It genuinely
Nonsense.
doesn't.
Absolute nonsense. It
doesn't.
totally matters. The golf. I mean, look at Jason Roy, mate.
When was anyone's last red ball game within 6 months?
Yeah, but Johnny Bairstow doesn't play red ball cricket. He's
Neither does Butler, and he still gets a game.
Yeah, but Josh Butler's playing as a keeper. If you're going to argue to me that Johnny Bairstow is your wicket keeper, I'm not going to disagree with you, because I think that I would have Johnny Bairstow probably above Butler as a Test batsman. But there's not much in it, and I think he's probably an arguably better keeper. For me, it's horses for courses. I don't really care.
I hope
you cannot have Johnny Bairstow batting in this
I
Test
will
team.
have a bet on Johnny Bairstow being England's top run scorer in the first innings, mate. I think he'll be well up for it, mate.
Johnny Bairstow won't play. There is no way in the world Johnny Bairstow plays this.
If Johnny Bairstow's playing, mate, I'm putting 20 of the finest on Bairstow top run scorer.
He doesn't get runs ever.
Mate, I'm telling you right now, if he plays, he will score runs.
He had one season, right? He had that 1 year where he went, obviously, when Ben Stokes got that 250 and he got that 100, and then he came to Headingley, he got 100 up. He got, I think, 400 in that year, and he finished with about 1,300 in that campaign. And you take that campaign out, and he averaged something like 26 in Test cricket in 70 Test matches.
That's a stupid argument.
No, I know. No, I get you. I understand what you're saying. But Johnny Bairstow hasn't got runs for years. He's averaging in the mid-20s.
Play yourself back into form.
I'm not picking him on weight of runs. I'm picking him on experience, as Harvard said, and I'm picking him on
losing, getting
I'm
battered
picking
in
him
Australia.
on
Joe Root's best mate as well.
Playing against Australia and in Australia. I think for a young lad to come in, I may argue that Crawley could come in for Bairstow at 5 or wherever in my team. That could feasibly happen. I understand that. Do you then have?
You want? I'm going to jump in. Sorry, but I think for me, if the way that you're setting up, I'd have Liam Livingstone in that position. If they haven't taken him and he's never going to play. No, I know, but they've missed a trick for me. I think if you're not going to play a spinner batting at 6, Liam Livingstone, after what he's done, and he's got runs in red ball cricket as well. He's got that bit of ticker. He's got that bit of heart.
I think that the leadership team will be kicking themselves now because they've seen how he bowls as well. So if you don't want to pick a spinner, if you don't want to pick Leach, having someone that can bowl leggies or offies fairly well as well. I think he bowled pretty well in the World Cup. I know it's different. It's completely different.
3 men on the boundary.
But to be fair,
he's got the ability.
Also, you put him in batting 5, 6, 7, 8, wherever you want to bat him, he'll do a stellar job. He'll do really, really well. And then it means that you can pick another seamer if you want to. You can pick another all-rounder, do whatever.
I'm on the same bar. I can't believe that he hasn't been taken.
He's not even gone in the Lions. I don't know if he's turned it down.
And he's got that star quality, doesn't he? He's got that aura about him. He's got that Peterson, Flintoff.
We don't know what he's going to do in red ball either, which is good.
It's that thing where people look at him and go, "Oh my God!" Like, you hit the ball miles. You've just got you know when you just see someone on the pitch that they've just got something about them.
He's
a gun fielder as well.
Yeah.
He's got that bit of dickhead about it. Do you know what I mean? He's got it in him. Like, he's got that grit, and it's like when he gets a wicket and he's pumped, and it's like he's clearly, because you see some people, and I mean, Josh Butler's a fantastic cricketer, but he's very placid on the pitch. You know what I mean? He's a nice guy. You look at a lot of the England lads, they're very nice.
Too nice.
And Don Best does have that. To be fair, of all the things, I think he's an absolute. We all know what I think, but he's got that thing where he's got a bit of ticker. He's just a shame he's talentless. But you know what I mean? Liam Livingstone's got the talent and he's got the ticker and he seems to have the package. And I think England are missing a trick. I've got, as I said, we've done the top order. I've got Root at 4. That's a guarantee. Ben Stokes at 5 is a guarantee, unless he bats at 3, but he is going to bat 5. Yeah, and Butler is going to play 7. So you're talking about number 6. Basically, right, it's a shootout between Pope and Bairstow.
I'd go Pope.
I'm going Pope. What about you? You've gone Bairstow, haven't you?
I've gone Bairstow.
I think Ollie Pope
can do equally a good a job. I just prefer Bairstow for the experience.
But what's experience, mate? Like, you only gain experience by playing. It counts for nothing. I mean, look Shiraz Iyer, who's just come into the Indian squad. All those Indian lads, Rishabh Pant, who's come in, and when what's his name opened the bat in Prithvi Shaw, they all got hundreds on debut or whatever. I think Ollie Pope, he's gained enough experience. He's averaging 30 odd. He gets a lot of pretty starts, and I think this is a fault with a lot of the England team. Rory Burns doesn't get a start. What he does is he gets big runs once every 7 innings. I think in Australia, at the top of the order, I want a little bit of a start. If you're gonna average 25, just get 25 every week. I don't want you to get 100 and then blobs. Ollie Pope needs to take this tour by the scruff of its neck, and I think it's made for him.
He has been hampered by injuries as well.
But look at his mate.
He needs.
It's a joke.
But what Pope needs is he needs the top order to fire.
Mm-hmm.
So he
needs to come in at 300 for 4.
Yeah, it's like that Ian Bell thing, isn't it? During that Ashes, like when Bell came in, because you had Trott that scored a heap of runs, all of that. Peterson,
he also taking the ball away. Look how easy.
Like,
I mean, I say that from the outside, but if you're not 200 for 6, 7, do you know that kind of thing? You can get runs in Australia. It gets so much easier when the pitch flattens
100%.
down and the kookaburra ball goes. You get a lot of runs when the pitches are flat. Like if you get through that top of the order,
pitches are going to make it even more. But of a one-sided game, if the first team gets the runs, then you saw with the India test, you can always sort of catch up.
I'm interested to see with these drop-in pitches as well, because I must admit I don't know a huge amount about them. I know that they're really flat. Does it make a difference if it's been rainy, and if it's been stormy like it is now? Will it be
cooked?
But then what I mean is now, if it's going to be humid, if it's going to rain a fair amount, does that make it really spicy?
I believe it will make it
more
tacky
English in conditions, or
will
it?
It makes it more tacky.
Gabba drop in.
I think the only one is I can't remember. No,
that's a drop-in.
That is a drop-in. Melbourne's a drop-in.
Melbourne's
definitely a drop-in
because they all play AFL on them.
Yeah,
I think the
Sydney Cricket Ground can't be, surely.
No, I think it's the SCG that's the only non-drop-in pit.
I would be surprised if the Gabbas are dropping. Just from.
Do they play any other sport? The Gabba?
No, because they play at the Suncorp in Brisbane.
Right, the Gabba's the only one that's not.
But the Gabba, obviously, famously, wait till we get you to the Gabba, lads. I mean, we're starting at the Gabba. The Gabbatoir. The Gabbatoir. Neither do the listeners. But obviously,
like Fortress Edgbaston.
We've got to get off.
It's telling you to get up and move, as
we've got to get here. It is. We've got to get off to a draw. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, a win would be preference. But the Gabba is their fortress until India went there and told Tim Payne where to shove it. But obviously, we need to get off to a draw.
Tim Payne was thinking about shoving it somewhere else as well. It's a story for another day, huh?
Yeah, well.
I think that, though, if you go in with the mentality, we need to get a draw.
No, I know.
You're not going to do that.
But you know my point.
I understand what you mean. Get off on the front foot. I think that what we've done so badly.
10-11 where we got 500 for 1.
Yeah.
And it just went, we're a proper side here.
What we've done so badly over the last however many years is how many times have we lasted 5 days? We don't. As a team, we do not last 5 days. We barely even get the 5th day. May as well make them 4-day test matches.
Not many teams do though.
Well, I know, but imagine,
West Indies did it at Headingley and won.
Maybe that's a good thing for picking Hamid. I don't know.
Doesn't score, does he? You've got to score against Australia. That is the thing. I mean,
you do need to score, but I think that 5 days is such a long time that actually
you don't go into attack bowl at you though.
But you don't go into your shell, do you? But there's being proactive without going out and trying to score at 4 runs and over.
No, I agree because Joe Root, he's fantastic.
He's the prime example, isn't he? He goes wrong.
He plays
you're like,
sensibly.
oh my god, he's on 40
and
already.
I think Joe Root will benefit from not playing in the T20 World Cup because I've seen it in the past where Root, with that obviously this year he's gone like an absolute gunner and he's not playing as much white ball stuff. But do you remember maybe the period where he's averaging 30s and 40s and stuff the last couple of years? He looked a bit stuck where he was in his 50s, getting 50s, but he was in his white ball mode where he was like, do I kick on and stuff? And I think not having that, he knows his game now in Test cricket. Obviously, he's 30 years old. He's played 100 and odd Test matches. He's arguably he is number 1 batsman in the world at the moment. And obviously he's in form. For me, if we look at it a bit of matchups, you've got. If you take Steve Smith and Joe Root, I mean,
Stephen Smith, what a man!
They're going to be pretty similar, I reckon.
You'd hope so.
I would imagine they'll both.
I mean, Steve Smith's average is a joke. I mean, before we do that, let's just wrap up on the England thing before we go into the Australia and the matchups. So we go to the bowlers, right? We've gone with Butlers at 7. Now you've got 4 bowlers. Stokes doesn't count as a bowler, so you go in either 3 and 1 or 4 seamers. For me, I think, and I would go with 4 seamers for this first test, and I think they will go with 4 seamers. For me, Anderson plays. Do we all agree?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Robinson plays.
Yeah.
Wood plays because you need pace.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have him in my first team, but I understand that.
All right, we've got Anderson and we've got.
But I would play Leach instead of
Anderson
Wood,
and Robinson.
So.
Yeah. We've all got Anderson and Robinson.
Agreed.
Right, so I've got Wokes
and
I've got Wood.
I'd go Wokes, but then I'd go Leach.
I've got my 4 bowlers are Robinson, Leach, Anderson, Wood.
So you've gone Leach and Wood, you've gone Leach and Wokes, and I've gone Wood and Wokes. I don't think they'll play a spinner, and I mean, I just think that's to do with weather conditions. And England haven't played a spinner for the last period of time, and obviously Jack Leach has had a stinker. I think they will do later in the series. I just don't think that for the first Test match with weather, Stokes being undercooked, I don't think they can rely on him to get overs. I think they'll look at Joe Root to get through. Why wouldn't you have Wood? Bit of pace in Australia.
I would I'd and ah with Wood, to be fair. Like, I think that he's good. The ideal would be that Archer's fit, and then he'd be straight in the team for the pace. I think that then you kind of stop a debate of one of them not playing. I more that you do need pace. I understand that, but I just think that what we've lacked is control for a long time, and I don't think that Root as a control bowler will offer you that control. I think Wokes could offer you control.
Does Anderson not offer you control?
You're not going to bowl him. You're not going to bowl him 40, 50 overs, are you? That's my thing. Is Wood going to last as well? He breaks down every fucking 3 games. We're kind of looking at this in the
first Test match, and I guess it's not a first Test review. It's a whole series review. So you've got 5 tests, right? You've got 5 tests. In Anderson and Broad are probably going to mix and match, aren't they? They'll probably both play in the under night game. I would have thought.
Yeah, they will both play
the pink
with the pink ball.
But other than that,
it would be stupid not to.
Yeah,
in that game, I would arguably play.
I wouldn't play Wood in that game.
I would play in that pink ball game.
Seamers.
I play Robinson, Wokes, Anderson, and Broad.
I wouldn't disagree. But obviously they're going to mix and match. Wood's probably going to play 3 tests. I think outside of that, you got no pace. Ollie Stone's obviously injured, who I think they would have given a go. I've got my next point was obviously bolters. I think I think Mahmood, if there's an injury, I think he comes in, and I think he goes above Overton. For me, I'd have him above Overton to play. I don't see why they're taking Overton. I really don't. I
don't know why Mahmood's not in that because they've taken Overton. Man.
They've taken Overton, haven't they?
Overton can bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Fields. He's a good slipper.
Yeah, he's a decent
bowler. Very similar bowler. He's a decent bowler to Robinson,
isn't he? Last time, didn't he? But for me, I don't think Wood will play all the games, and I think Wokes will bat. I think Wokes will be the mainstay.
Wokes is good because he'll bat 8.
He'll average 30 as well. Do you know what I mean? He's a proper player. No, but his first class cricket average is higher than Josh Butler, and not Johnny Bairstow, but it's higher than Josh Butler, which is he gets runs.
I just hope we win, mate. I don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll do the
any Tom Noddy playing as long as we beat him, because I think we've got a good chance.
I mean, obviously, mate. I mean,
I think this is the best chance that we've had in a long, long time.
And that is
especially because they're really cocky as well.
Yeah,
Australia think we're the worst team that's come since the 80s or whatever.
Well,
you know
let's do the Aussies, mate. Let's do the convicts. I mean, you look at their side, right? Obviously, Dave Warner's opening up. Harry.
Their danger, mate, is their seam attack.
Do you see? I'm going to argue with you.
I love their seam attack
it's a quality,
so much.
But I'm going to argue with you, right? Their batting is being underplayed, and I think they win this because they have run scorers. So Warner in Oz averages 60. Labuschagne in Oz averages 60. Smith in Oz averages 60. Khawaja in Oz averages 55. They've got 5. They've got 4 players there who average big
heavy
runs in. And I know Dave Warner's Ashes stats are bizarre. I mean, he averaged 9 in the home series, but against over there last time,
if he's fit, you've always got to pick Warner, haven't you? Really?
No, but he averaged
100%.
He averaged 60.
He's got that bit of bell end about him as well.
Harris is obviously opening up, and he's only averaging 30 in Test cricket, which is a bit touch and go.
He got smashed in the Swede again, didn't he?
He's gone.
Yeah, his career's done, mate.
I think their top 5. I think is really strong. I think other than Harris, who obviously he's had a short career in Test match so far. I'm looking at their middle order though, and obviously they've got Cameron Green, who's only averaging 30 odd. He's an all-rounder.
Cam Green's good,
decent.
Mate.
Yeah, he's
good. He's
okay. I can't say I know enough of him, but for me, Alex Carey's dog shit. I'm gonna throw out there. Alex Carey.
Cam Green. They go mad for Cam Green in Australia.
They do, but it's because he's an all-rounder, isn't he? You know what I mean? They don't really. When was Australia's last great all-rounder?
I think it's because he's like 6'5".
Andrew Simons, mate.
Andrew Simons, who was like a bit of a maverick, but he wasn't.
Well, this Cam Green's a bit of a maverick as well.
Is it?
He's got long, flowing golden hair and
bit flair.
Sort of, yeah, he's a
big lad.
He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Well, they've obviously not gone Stoinis. They've not picked. They've obviously gone back to Khawaja. Wade's been dropped. Who's that other lad that was annoyed didn't get the lad who seems to have like a Dutch name?
I know you mean, but
Henrik.
Moises
Moises
Henriks.
Henriks. He thought he should have been picked. I saw that. Obviously, Josh English didn't get given the gloves. So for me, I think their top 5 is strong. I think it really is. But obviously, get through that, and you look at their tail and stuff. They've got Patrick Cummings and Mitchell Stark, who get a few runs, but they're not quality operators.
Patrick Cummings is one of the best cricketers in the world at the moment.
I argue, right, if I could have one player in the world as a club cricketer, like pick one player out of anyone for a club team, Patrick Cummings is a man. He's getting you 1,000 runs.
Bowls 90 miles an hour.
He's
He's going to hit bombs.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There isn't a ground in club cricket that's small and that's big enough. And he hits absolute bombs. And also, he's just the best bowler in the world, isn't he? Like, I don't...
Class,
is that up for debate? Is that up for debate? I mean, people can say Bumrah and the like.
Best bowler, yeah.
He averages 20 in...
He's a good... Yeah, he's a...
I know
he's
the likes
class,
of... what's his name? Jameson's gone well, and obviously Axar Patel's a spinner, but I mean, look at his average at the moment. It's silly. But I think Patrick Cummings, for me, is the best bowler in Test cricket. But the captaincy is going to hurt him, no?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Because 1956 was the last time.
A fast bowler, like, playing and captaining Australia, or any team, actually, for that matter, is he going to over-bowl himself? Is he going to bowl himself at the wrong time? I think it's important to have... You have to have clarity in mind, don't you? Because
like, if I was captain and bowling seam up, I'd have 30 overs.
I wouldn't take myself off.
No,
I didn't
either.
when I was captain at Didsbury.
Probably
why we got relegated.
Until someone's in form, whacking you. You're like, tell you what, lads, I'll have a blow now. No, I don't know, mate.
Watch me, pal.
I don't know, because we all know as a bowler, obviously, you see the red mist, you get the steam. Obviously, you're bowling, you're concentrating on yourself, and you have to. I guess it's like batting. When you're batting, you just need to focus on yourself. But there's a lot more in the field that goes on than just bowling, obviously. And a bowler generally, I think what Pat Cummings will do, I think the bowlers will set their fields. I don't think he's going to he'll obviously give advice as a Jimmy would.
I think that Smith has been moved to vice captain. Smith's going to tell him.
Smith's going to do the job whilst he's bowling.
So, like, yeah,
Smith's
going to captain it. Cummings is going to be the face of it. Like, he's the
Smith
perfect
will captain
face
again, because Cummings isn't going to play all 5. Because it's
so
so condensed.
They
brought
were
this a week and a half early, shorter.
Well, they've all... The highlights of all the Cook's innings from when he scored millions were yesterday. It was however many years ago yesterday. So, like, you got a good few weeks back. And I just think that what Australia did really well in England last time was that they rotated their fast bowlers. I think that it made England look at that over the last year or so and go, actually, you don't need to pick. They had Pattinson.
They've gone Jai Richardson, haven't they?
I love Pattinson
and Nessa,
so
he's
much.
He's not really going to play, but it's Jai Richardson. They'll rotate. They'll start with Stark. They'll start with the 4.
Yeah, they'll start with the big dogs, and then.
But is that's the thing that England know, and they do know, right? If England bat and they bat long, they don't have that extra bowler, unless I'm missing something here. They've not got anyone else.
They've got Cam Green in the.
Yeah, but they've got Labuschagne who bowls a few bloody pies. And Smith, who bowls an odd leg spinner. But they don't really... I mean, is Cam Green a good bowler?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Heavy ball.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe... I think Pat Cummings obviously bat 8, Stark about 9. They'll go with Lyon 11, and Hazelwood will probably play in. Hazelwood... Stark's in poor form, though, Like, he didn't bowl well in the World Cup.
Can't take white.
No, I know,
ball.
but I was looking at his average.
He'll always turn up, mate.
But I think he'll get dropped for Richardson. I was looking at his average, right? Stark is averaging 28 against England, whereas the others are averaging 21 and 24. I mean, he's averaging 28 in Test cricket as well. So he's the worst of their attack. Obviously, you take 28, wouldn't you? Because
I was going to say,
yeah,
you're saying that it sounds bad. I was like, ooh, that sounds.
No, I know.
Not
But I mean, of their attack, I think he is the weak link. He'll probably take. Who takes
left arm though?
Who takes the new pill? Is it Cummings and Hazelwood? I know Hazelwood takes
left arm will offer them so much.
Yeah.
There's so much to be. There's so much to be said for a left arm.
He gets done, doesn't he? Quite a bit. I mean, Pat Cummings, he's root Pat Cummings bunny in recent years.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. But Nathan Lyon is the one for me because his stats aren't great, and you get after him. But he's bowled. He's played 100 Test
always
matches.
Get wickets, mate.
He'll get a 3 for.
He's on 399, and he's on 399.
Solid, and he's solid. I read a thing about Nathan Lyon though. If he got a bit of fame, he got rid of his missus and married a model, and he had a kid and everything.
Tell you what, mate. If we go global, maybe that'll be you. Hopefully, you'll keep your hair though.
Not wrong with my hair, pal.
No. Well, I mean, it's not going anywhere, but there's a lot wrong with it.
Yeah. Got the old Virat Kohli beard going on at the minute.
Virat Kohli beard. I mean, so all right then. We'll move into it. I mean, Travis Head, could he play? I mean, we've talked about Khawaja. I've just picked Khawaja in the team. Travis Head. It's Khawaja or Head, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
I think they'll go Khawaja.
I don't think it makes a difference who they pick out of those two, to be honest.
Josh Inglis, he might play if there's an injury. He'll come in for, obviously he'll be the next come off the rank for Carey.
Yeah.
And Jai Richardson is their next bowler.
Yeah.
So obviously, where's their weakness then? I mean, just obviously touching
their lack
of
cricket, mate. The lack of Test cricket that they have had over the last year is their weakness, and the lack of preparation.
And in fact, last time out, they got schooled against a B team India side.
And in terms of Shield cricket, we say that's good preparation. Is it?
It's not Test cricket,
like,
but it's batting ball.
County cricket.
If you're, do you know what I mean? You're sending Jimmy Anderson back to play for Lancs to play 2 games before the Ashes. It's going to be pretty similar to that. Anderson turning up against Leicestershire, Derbyshire, whoever.
It's overs in the legs, because that's one thing that they haven't felt. They can do indoor school stuff, and they can do nets. But
no, it's the same for both teams. Maybe,
yeah, I guess a lot of the lads have played T20, they've been in a bubble now.
Maybe it will impact the likes of Jimmy and Broad and people like that, because they've not had.
The thing is, all their bowlers have been playing at the World Cup, other than Lyon.
Well, exactly, because Hazelwood came in, didn't he, to the World Cup side. He'd not played 2020, went out to the IPL, did really well, learned his trade essentially playing in the IPL
Harris,
for some reason.
Khawaja, Labuschagne, Green, and Carey. To be fair, quite a lot of lads have been playing Shield cricket, maybe to mixed success, I think. So I guess the batting maybe is sort of maybe hit the ground running a bit more. But I think I see their weakness in Nathan Lyon. I know he's played a lot of cricket and stuff, but I just don't think he's a good player. But he's no, you know what I mean, he's not that quality. I think we could get after him, and I think that middle order between, if Khawaja goes in at 5, even though he's a good player, he only averages 29 against England. He averaged 48 in Australia the last series, but 29 against England. You've got Cameron Green, who's unproven in Test cricket, only averaging 30. Alex Carey on debut. I think if we could get their top order cheap, I think there's the ability to get through them. I just think they're lacking experience in the middle, which obviously I've argued against experience, and who knows, we could wait and see it. But as you say, they're undercooked. They lost to India last time out. But I don't see how they lose a series, mate. I just think they've got too much bowling power, and I just think they've got too many run scorers at the top.
It would be an upset if England won. But what I would say is I think it's probably going to be the worst quality Ashes that we've had in a long time, which I hope will make it be the most exciting Ashes that we've had in a long time, which I think plays into our hands again. As I kind of said earlier,
we're a bit of a sporadic team, aren't we?
Exactly. Like,
we can have a good game.
And it's one of those ones where
look at India,
no
we
team.
Were shit, but we had that game where we went mad.
Well, exactly. And I look at both teams and go, that's not the strongest team that they've had in a while. There's a few weak links there, so it will make it exciting. I think that they're probably all round stronger than us. They're at home as well. I think it boils down to how many runs does Root score. I think it boils down to does Anderson come off, and that's pretty much. I just think for England, that's those people, those two lads have to do well for England.
Yeah.
If Smith doesn't go well, Smith and Root are going to probably cancel each other out.
The problem has been that Root hasn't cancelled him out so far. Do you know what I mean? But
I think off the back of the last year, I'm going to
cancel out 100 because Smith's average is just obscene.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. But I don't know. I hope. Let's say they cancel each other out. Stokes cancels out Labuschagne. Let's just go with those. I just think that you look at the top 3, and I think Warner and Khawaja, for instance, and I think Pope. I think Pope and Butler are better players. Sort of, they've played more Test cricket and stuff. I think there's the ability there that our middle order with Wokes and 8, I think we could edge that kind of side of the game. I just think
you don't win Test matches with your middle order.
You don't. No, you don't.
You save Test matches and you can lose them, but you don't win them
unless your top order is only averaging getting 30s, but they're batting long. Do you know what I mean? If our top, if we're, I think it's very.
When's that ever happened though?
No, I know. Well, a couple, the odd 1 or 2 again, where Dom Sibley's blocked snots off it, and we've all gone, what is this about? But obviously Sibley turned down the Lions, didn't he? So he's got no chance of getting back in that England fold. I just don't see how we can get through the first 30 overs without getting 2 or 3 down. I just don't see how we on a regular basis on 10 innings
by praying, mate. That's it.
No, I'm interested to see. I think we've gone over it, and it's definitely made me a lot more excited for it than I was a few hours ago.
A few hours ago, mate. We walked into this conversation with, I don't care about the Ashes. Do I have to do this call?
No. But anyway, I'm always looking for a bit of value, and
here we go.
Just scouting the series most runs. So, Gregson, who would you like? Hold on, who would you like? Who are
you picking? England, one from each side.
Most runs. Do you know what? I like a punt though. I don't want to go Smith and Root because I think that's boring. I'll go Stokes, and I'll go for Warner. I think that Warner's done.
So you want, and then, so you get 3 picks. So you get England, Australia, and then total.
What do you mean by total?
Well, who's going to score the most in the series? But
well, 50-50 then, isn't it?
No. So what I'm saying is,
do you mean
England and Australia? What?
The golden player. So you pick most runs for England.
Yeah.
Most runs for Australia.
So now he's got to pick between the two of them.
Series.
And then you want most runs in the series, so you can have another one of them. So you want Warner, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Warner's going to come good. I can just tell. It's going to be really annoying.
You've got Warner to be Australia's top run scorer.
Yeah.
That's 11-4. I think it's actually a decent price.
Nah.
Ben Stokes is 5-1.
That's a good price.
For England.
I'm
and then
money here.
Series most run scorer, Warner is 9-2. So
I think whoever's the Australia top run scorer is probably going to be the
So Harold, who are you having, pal?
Right. Well, I do think it'll be Steve Smith. I just do. I think him and Root. I do really think they'll be the two shining lights. I'm going to go Ollie Pope for England. I think Ollie Pope is going to get some scores. I think he's bound. He's due to, mate. He needs to stop getting these pretty 30s. He plays on the oval every week and he bullies it. So hopefully on decent decks out there, a bit better than we're used to against some good
attacks.
Hopefully he's going to come good. What's that? 6s, 7s?
And then your series most runs?
Well, you missed my Australia one.
I'm not, because Steve, you said Steve Smith.
I did. All right. I thought you said I wasn't allowed it.
No,
right.
So Steve Smith 6-4 to be Australia's biggest run.
Yeah, no value there, but I think he's just too good. Obviously, Labuschagne. What's Labuschagne, by the way? Is he more or less than Warner?
5-2, second favourite.
Yeah. Steve Smith will get the most runs, but let's go Ollie Pope for the series.
Yeah, Ollie Pope, and then the series. So Ollie Pope for series.
Let's go with it because it will be Smith, but that's got to be 14s.
20s, mate.
Pope 20s at 6. Yeah. I mean. He's got to get some of his. Got to get some of your 6s. He's getting top scorer. I'll have Chris Wokes, please.
I was going to say our top order have got to do pretty shit for him to be.
I'll tell you the value bets to have then, lads. So you want to take Steve Smith at 6-4. I think that's very generous to be odd against. Given that Joe Root is 11-10 odds on, or just short of odds on basically. And then you overall most series runs. I think Joe Root at 11-4 is a hell of a price.
What's Milan?
Milan's nothing really. Milan is 16. So I mean,
value there.
They don't back
against
it.
Against
pace. They don't back it at all.
What about Crawley?
Zach Crawley is on a different stratosphere of pages. Is
35s.
40-1.
Zach Crawley's 40-1.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'll have fun.
Mate, you can't when he's not going to play.
Yeah, I know, but mate, if Lee goes down with a leg injury, he's in. 40-1.
Yeah, I think. And you can get it. I'm not. Obviously, we're not sponsored.
Are we sponsored by Bet365 here?
well, we've gone on Sky Bet, and you can actually get it each way. So they come in the first 3. So
all right, well, I'll be sure to have a look.
For me, I think David Milan each way is I think we've decided between the 3 of us is the value bet of the Ashes. Closely followed by probably Ben Stokes at 9-1, whether he's fit or not. But for me, I like a bit of value.
5, that is a bit of value.
I think we'll have a group bet of a £5 each, £15.
See who wins.
7.5 each way on David Milan, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no doubt. And then what about your bowler, Arv? Just to finish it up, bowler, and then predictions, I guess, on the scores. For me, I think the most wickets in the series is probably gonna be Josh Hazlewood.
Yeah, I'm Hazlewood as well. Hazlewood for me.
Yeah, I think
go with an English lad.
Yeah, why not? Let's go with Woke, just to shut you up, Harry.
Didn't he not have him in his team?
I don't even have him in my team, mate. I don't even have him in my team, pal. But no, I
that sums you up. Go on then.
Yeah.
Give us the value on Hazelwood, please, for the fans. They're all sat there with their accounts open.
Stalling a bit, right? So Hazelwood is 11-4 for Australia's most runs wickets, and then who you having for England?
I'm having Ollie Robinson.
Ollie
He'll
Robinson's
probably play all the games.
9-2. Yeah. You going Woke, and who's your Australia? Hazelwood. So 11-4, and then Robinson 9-2, Chris Woke's 11-2, and then your overall top wicket takers.
Hazelwood
is at 9.
There's any doubt, to be honest.
Yeah, Hazelwood at 9-2 is a generous price. They've got Pat Cummins. Yeah, they've got Pat Cummins.
All right then, Arf. What is your prediction, mate? Your prediction of the series? Does the Ben Stokes factor make it a 4-1 rather than a 5-0, or can England get away with their underprepared sort of plans? And obviously, hope Australia falter and Steve Smith has learned how to miss the ball. How do you think we'll go? What's your prediction? I think we're probably going to agree. I think we did last time.
I think I'm going to take 2-2. I'm going to go for a Desmond. Down under.
Yeah, I was a little Desi as well.
Are you two Desis?
I was a Desi.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with
Desmond down under.
I'm going to go with 2-1.
Couple rained off.
Inglaterra. No, I mean, I think it'll be 3-1 the Aussies, but I'll have a punt on 2-1 England. Yeah, I think there'll be. I think
22-1.
22-1. I think it will be 3-1 Australia. I think we will win a test. I think obviously looking at the weather forecast the way it's been, there'll be one draw surely because it's pissing it down. And I think
3-1's 9-2. That's the favourite.
Yeah, I think it's the most likely. It is the most likely result. I don't see it 5-0. If it's 5-0 with that Australian team,
it won't be.
With as you say, dropping pitches. Look at the Melbourne one last time. It was just awful, wasn't it? There was no no runs to be scored. Well, loads of runs to be scored, no wickets to be taken.
I think the value bet just on a side is England on the handicap +1. So if it does finish 3-1, it's 5-2. So it's not a bad bet. And obviously England win more than one test. You're in for a
well, whatever you're betting on, let me know and I'll do the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how you work, and it costs you a few quid over the years, Harold. Hips likes to point out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think Arv, unless you've got any other business, looking forward to the Ashes. BT.
I'll be there. Midnight. I'll be sat there looking for my Michael Vaughan commentary, wondering where he's gone.
Surprised they've not got Azim Rafiq on, you know.
Mate, he'll be on the BBC.
It'll be
Don't worry about that. Azim Rafiq could be on the BBC. Don't worry about that. He's got a career for life there, especially with with the stuff that's come out in the wash. It'll fit well in North London.
Gregors,
anyway.
you enjoyed it?
Yeah,
look forward to the Ashes.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, we'll have to have a watch along or something.
Watch-alongs, yeah, for sure.
Harv, I'll tell you what, we'll touch base next. We'll do a pod just before Christmas, and then we'll do our end of year special, won't we? Back in the room.
Last time we did that, I had COVID, didn't I? And somehow you dodged it, mate. So Ellaby gave me COVID that day.
COVID. I got it towards the Euros, and I gave it everyone else. So I don't know what I mean. As like you,
it's not
mate.
the worst thing you've ever given out to the public, mate.
Thank you, Arvo. We're just shy of an hour here. It's been a good one. It's been special. Thank you very much for listening. Tune in, like the social channels. Hopefully, have a few clips.
We're going to do a live watch along.
What?
At midnight.
A little live stream.
When?
Well, whenever.
Boxing Day test.
Oh, we could do the Boxing Day test.
Boxing Day pit stop.
You're going to come round at Christmas.
Well, I'll call you. Yeah, but we've got the Leeds Liverpool game that day as well.
Oh, we do. Oh, it could be we could have a lock in, mate.
Could be a big day, mate.
We could have a lock. We could start at midnight. Yeah. We could start at midnight and then have a few hours kip in the morning.
Whetherby races on the following day, trying to win me Christmas money.
I'll tell you what, mate. I don't know, a bad shout. It could be good. But yeah, we'll have a discussion and you know what I mean. Yeah. See what it is. So Harv, thank you very much.
Just remember that famous song. We'll shag Matilda. We'll shag Matilda. We'll shag Matilda. And so did
Gregors, thanks for coming.
She wowed and she blowed and she
thanks for coming, Gregors.
What a way to finish the pod. Cheers, boys.
So did
All the best. God bless.